Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to No Sports Dynasty. And I am one half of your host, Mr. Andrew Faubert. And that side, I screwed it up again. It's that side. That side. Big loser for me, but it's that side. Mr. Alex Loosemore, how are we doing today, my brother?
We're doing well, man. College football is back. My Wolverines look good. Unfortunately, had a big injury I'll get into later on. But yeah, so far so good for the college football season.
Yes. I totally forgot. I should not have forgotten. Me and Alex both kind of forgot because we're up in here in Canada and it doesn't get advertised as like down our throats as it does in America. But we do have college football going on. Less than a week away from NFL football, which also means that a lot of these fantasy drafts have happened. So we are going to give you some tips and tricks and all that kind of stuff about how you should get going this fantasy football season and what you should basically do in order to win these leagues, because we've actually had a lot of people reach out to us and say that they got into some leagues because of us. And we've also had some people reach out to, I don't want to speak for Alex, but they've reached out to say, me. I get messages at like 1:30 in the morning with people at the bar being like, Andrew, I'm literally about to do a dynasty trade with the guy I'm at the bar with. Okay. I need help. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then they show me these offers and I'm like, you're all drunk. Yeah, but I know I need this player. Don't do that. That hurts your teams. So today we're going to give you some tips and tricks of what to do and what not to do to win your fantasy football season. We'll talk a little bit of college football that's currently going on right now. I just see that Kansas State has a 14-0 lead over Stanford. And there's a bunch of other games that are going on right now and a bunch of games that are going to be going on tonight, such as Alabama versus Miami. We got Georgia and Clemson is probably going to be the biggest one. Louisiana, Texas is a pretty nice one too. Indiana, Iowa. And, of course, my Gators are going for SEC dominance this year. As we always do.
Okay. I think SEC dominance resides with a different team, but okay.
I think not. I think their quarterbacks, when they get drafted, aren't that good, whereas mine actually.
But if you're talking SEC dominance.
Well, fine. Okay, whatever. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're still tuned in for us today, like and share this show with all of your friends. Tell them that we're live today. And that we are always live on Saturdays, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. That's when we do these shows. We're also going to be going live on Tuesdays to give you quick little updates. We are going to do a quick show live this Tuesday with time to be determined, obviously. We will get that all figured out for you. But it'll be later on in the night, and we will give you some quick injury updates and fantasy football stuff to get you ready for week 1, including, matchups with the Bucks, what Bucks to start streaming, and what Lions to start streaming, because we've turned some of these Buccaneer fans out there into Lion fans as well. Or at least they respect your Lions because they have to, because they like you. They respectively like you. So, and we're also live on Bucks Report, showing up on live on Bucks Report, partnership with Bucks Report. We're also sponsored by nothing. No, I'm just kidding.
So if you're looking to sponsor something.
Yeah, so if you're looking to sponsor something, love us, reach out to us, embrace us. We will shout out your stuff. I'll literally pour it all over me. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is.
Macidor's shots fired.
Damn, even Alex Loosemore's college picks suck. Ooh, did you make some college picks that I was unaware of?
No, I think he means like.
Oh, I see. Well, Macidor, he is a diehard Michigan. I almost said State fan. Ooh. He's a diehard Michigan
Not
fan.
only would you gotten me, but I think my dad.
Your dad would block this show, like report.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, we're a big college football. I'm a big Gators fan. He's a big Michigan guy. I'm just gonna point to the TV. I'm just gonna think you're the TV. Hi, how you doing?
There we go.
All right. So Alex is a big Michigan guy. We appreciate and respect all the college football teams and all their fans that are out there. respectively. I will even allow Florida State guys to come on this show and say what they want and do what they want.
You're nicer than I will. Ohio State and Michigan State. Bye-bye.
Speaking of bye-bye, we got some news. I don't know how that was not a good transition whatsoever. And wow. I tried so hard. No, I'm just kidding. All right. We got the 5-minute news update from our boy here, Mr. Alex Loosemore. Well, I go and share this on a couple of platforms that I can't do because I'm not multi-talented, as most people would think. Most people don't think that. So we're just going to go to Alex with the news.
All right, so we'll start off with the NFL. A few retirements. Jarrell Casey, the longtime Tennessee Titan, signed with the Broncos this offseason. Not going to play, obviously. And it sounds like Malcolm Butler, the Super Bowl hero for the Patriots against the Seahawks, former Titans player, signed with the Cardinals this offseason. He hasn't shown up to camp because of some personal reasons, and they stuck him on the reserve retired list. So it sounds like he's done. And the last retirement news is the Giants are retiring Michael Strahan's number 92. They'll retire it November 28th against the Eagles. Tyrann Mathieu, the star safety for the Chiefs, was put on the COVID list, tested positive. His week 1 status is in question because his vaccination status is not known. So if he's vaccinated, he just has to show 2 negative tests within a 24-hour period. If he is unvaccinated, I believe it's 5 days, and then he has to show a negative test. So it'll be interesting to see. The Steelers traded a 2023 5th-round pick to the Seattle Seahawks for corner Ahkello Witherspoon. Just a depth corner. That's what you're getting with a 5th-round pick. Some unfortunate news the last couple days. Wide receiver David Patton, 3-time Super Bowl champion with the Patriots, passed away yesterday, 47 years old. And as I said on Thursday, Keith McCants, the former first-round pick of the Buccaneers, was found dead in his apartment at 53 years old. Yeah. Irv Smith Jr. is likely to miss the season after having meniscus surgery. It's a minimum of 4 to 5 months. And the Lions GM, Brad Holmes, says he's not worried about Panea's struggles, says he looks like a rookie. People got to remember he's like the second youngest player in the NFL. Had 1 year of college football, opted out last year. So he's going to be a little rusty off the bat. He's got a big test with Dee Ford and Eric Armstead week 1, so we'll see how it goes. Moving to the NBA, about 5 months after retiring, LaMarcus Aldridge comes back out of retirement, signs with the Nets, who he was on when he retired. Was having heart issues before, must be healthy enough. The Nets traded DeAndre Jordan to the Detroit Pistons for Jahlil Okafor and Sekou Doumbouya. The Pistons are expected to buy out Jordan's contract so he can then go sign with the Los Angeles Lakers. Paul Millsap signs with the Nets. Rajon Rondo signs with the Lakers. And more jersey retirements. The Grizzlies are going to retire Tony Allen's number 9 and Zach Randolph's number 50, which I think is well-deserved for those two. Moving to the NHL. The NHL will pause during the 2021-22 season so that the NHL players can play in the Olympics. Team Canada is going to run away with another gold.
Fuck you, Gary Bettman. Fuck you. In the chat right now, everybody, you know what to do. Drop those hashtags in there. Fuck Gary Bettman. You know who's not going to be representing Team Canada? Fuck Corey Perry. And you know who else isn't going to be representing shit? No Maple Leafs. No Maple Leafs.
Mitch Marner will be on there.
Well, okay, no, that is fair. That is fair.
So one Maple Leaf.
Well, okay, one Maple. Maybe they throw Tavares in there too. That's.
I don't think at this point.
They better not. But oh yeah, what is up? Fuck you, Ken Holland, and fuck you, Gary Bettman, and fuck you, Corey Perry. We are winning gold. We get the Olympics again. So fuck you, Gary Bettman. Sorry, continue.
All right.
Wrong.
All right. So some Red Wings news. Filip Hronek, defenseman, signed a 3-year extension with an average annual value of $4.4 million. I think that's a good contract personally for him. A lot more extensions. So Colton Parayko, defenseman for the St. Louis Blues, signed an 8-year, $52 million extension. I also like that one. Philadelphia Flyers forward Joel Farabee signed a 6-year, $30 million extension. A little bit much for me, but still not bad. And these ones, I think the Sabres are actually making really good moves. They re-signed forward Casey Middlestat and defenseman Henry Jokiharju to matching 3-year, $7.5 million extensions. So an average annual value of $2.5 million a year. Very good contracts. And 2 things for baseball. This one involves your Cardinals, Andrew. Yadier Molina and Adam Wainwright started their 300th game together earlier this week. I believe it was last night. They're only the 4th battery, so pitcher-catcher combo in MLB history to do so. And as much as it pains me to say it because I'm not a Toronto sports fan, Toronto Blue Jays had easily the comeback of the year this year. Wow. So they were playing last night. They were down 8-2 with 2 runs. 2 outs in the 8th. And they scored 6 runs before they got that next out. So it was 8-8 going into the 9th. Their opponent scored 2 more runs to make it 10-8. And the Jays responded with a 3-run home run to win the game 11-8. So in 4 outs, not even 4 full outs, they scored 9 runs.
I could not believe that. Like, I saw the thing today and I saw the little highlight going up and I was like, oh, what? Like, what did I miss when I went to go see the Shang-Chi up in the theaters there? And I come home and I go right to bed because it was like 2 o'clock in the damn morning. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was obviously Mr. Alex Loosemore with the news. Hi, Loosemore. You look like Tom Brady right now, though. It was very weird. Anyways, I saw it in the comment section here. Everybody think that was the Reds rant? You thought that was the Reds rant? No. All right. This right here is my Reds rant. Okay? We're going to the fucking Olympics. Oh, yeah. We're going, baby. Oh, my God. Provided the pandemic does not do anything that's going to disturb any of the criteria that would help us get to the Olympics. But let's just talk about this for a second, okay? I'm going to pull my chair out. Let me get right into this. Do you think I'm mad? Nope, because we finally get to get all of our boys. Oh, speaking of boys, that kind of hurt. Finally get to get all of our boys assembled into a group. One of the best ensemble cast that you could possibly ever ask for right now. Right now. Okay? Now, let's think about what it could have been 4 years ago. A very, very young Connor McDavid. A very, very in the middle and perfect athletic form, Sidney Crosby. Very young Nathan McKinnon. And we still would have had some of these players non-retired and some more goalies available. There's a reason why on this show I keep saying hashtag fuck Gary Bettman. And fuck a lot of these other people. What's the other dude's name? I keep forgetting the other fucker. John Daly? Not John Daly, but bald head who's got to take most of the grunt crap with Gary Bettman.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
That guy. Thank you. This country that we represent.
It's Bill Daly.
Bill Daly. Thank you. I thought, hey. This right here, this rant, only comes from excitement. Because you, Mr. Gary Bettman, you hate Canada. And I know there's a couple of people be like, Andrew, stop right there. No, just hear me out. You hate Canada. You're doing everything in your power to make hockey in America relevant. And I appreciate you doing that because we have a lot of fans here in the comment section and here of the North Sports Dynasty and on Bucks Report who are big fans of the Tampa Bay Lightning, of the Pittsburgh Penguins, of the Detroit Red Wings, and a few other teams across the platform. Vancouver Canucks, actually, I found out there's a couple of those fans out there. It's really interesting. Florida Panthers, but we don't want to talk about them. What Bettman has been doing. Bettman has been trying to make hockey leave Canada. Take all the little parts away from Canada so we don't have any teams. Then all of a sudden what he did is he decided to go a little bit deeper. And he wanted to say, okay, hold on. If we just help by, just little, making sure Crosby's too old, and we say that the owners don't want it. We put this slight little heel in the Canadians for a little bit, and we all have to now give me, Gary Bettman, a little bit more money, and everybody has to bow down to me, Gary Bettman, in order for you to get your Olympics. The only reason you don't want us to have the Olympics is because you're not going to have another miracle on ice. Mitch Marner is not, my apologies, Austin Matthews is not going to lead you past Canada. Canada's team is too talented. Now, mind you, you have some very good goalies on your system, and I am very scared of that. I don't want none of that. I don't want no American goalies, okay, with their absolute flexibilities. Okay? I don't want none of it. I want not tangled up. I want none of it. You know what I do want, though? I want this. And I want it bad. Because you put a big X mark on the damn Canadian Olympics, Mr. Bettman. You told us we couldn't go. You said that we can't have no NHL players go last time. Well, now we can. Now we get all the damn NHL players that we want from my damn country. And now you are going to have to sit there. Where's the Olympics, Alex? Where's 2022 Winter Olympics?
I will.
Can you find that out for me?
Sure before. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't want to yell it. I do. It's got to.
Beijing.
What's that?
Beijing.
Thank you. You get to sit there in freaking China, in Beijing, in the minus 54-degree weather, whatever the hell it's going to be. And you're going to have to sit there and watch the ensembled class of your Americans lose to the damn Finnish or the Swedish or the Germans or anybody else besides me, the Canadians. You tried and you failed. And now we have everyone out there being like, oh, who's going to lead Team Canada? You know who's going to lead Team Canada? Canadians. It ain't going to be one person. It ain't going to be two people. If anything, it's going to be Crosby and McDavid. Pick a line. We'll build it together, and we're going to say, fuck them all. We are winning gold. No matter how many damn stopgaps fuck Gary Bettman hashtag has to put in front of us. We are winning gold. Everyone else can fight for second. But until the damn Olympics come and until I am proven otherwise, Gary Bettman will still be hated on this damn show for trying to put an end to one of the greatest ensembled classes of Canadians to ever hit the ice. And now we're going to do it again. But they're all going to be 4 years older than what they were before. So fuck you, Gary Bettman. And fuck you, Corey Perry. And fuck the NHLPA if they think they're ever going to not allow this ensemble of Canadians to ever get together again. Can you feel it? Huh? Can you feel it, Captain Bettman? Tired of you. Leave the NHL alone. Leave my Canadians alone. Get the hell out of the NHL and let it be ours again. And let us have Quebec City. Ah, that felt good. I can hardly breathe.
I will say personally, when it comes to the Olympics, where you're saying Crosby and McDavid together, I think that first line you do McDavid, McKinnon, and either Marner or Barzal, personally.
I agree. And I've seen a lot of these projected lineups where Barzal is like a scratch or something like that. It's like,
yeah, he's an extra. And I'm like, no. Especially his speed with McDavid and McKinnon would be deadly.
Yeah, no. All right, let's get to some of these comments. Adam Padermo, what's up, guys? Appreciate for everybody tuning in. Remember to like and share. You want to have everybody see how crazy I can get when I get ticked off at Gary Bettman. That's what you get.
So is Misador an FSU fan or a Notre Dame fan?
Oh, that's a good question.
The reason I'm asking this is because he was talking about this. He might be a Notre Dame fan.
Oh, that's a very good point. So Misador,
that's been a pretty big rivalry.
Misador, if you're down there, please let us know. What are you? You FSU? You Notre Dame? Are you Arizona State, Louisville, Kentucky? Like, what are you?
Because I hate saying this as a Michigan fan, but I'm siding with Notre Dame in that game.
Oh, I have been on your other show for 5 minutes before I realized the live sign wasn't on. What do you mean it wasn't on? Hey, someone finally scored at the Penn State-Wisconsin game. Timmy 2 turns royalty in the house. I even put that in the comments. Thank you very much for tuning in. Always good to have some of the crazy guys and some of the big guys out there.
Who Shelby was it that scored in that Penn State-Wisconsin game?
I'm not too sure. I got Oklahoma and Tulane on right now. So
I still have my Michigan game on.
Sherbley said, where are the foobs? I was in the back room. I always let Alex do the news by himself. I just make noises in the back and throw him off a little bit.
7-6 Penn State over Wisconsin right now.
Oh, Jesus.
I have money on Penn State, so hopefully
they pull that out. There he is hiding. I think I heard him. Oh, yes. And then me and his exchange, that was hilarious. Fuck Andrew's excitement hashtag. I love that. Christopher Cole, what's up, everybody? Now, see, I was actually waiting for you, Christopher Cole. Christopher Cole, if you're still tuning in, I just want you to know something. You are actually the winner of the puck. Tampa Bay Lightning puck signed, and I'm pretty sure it's Braden Point. Before I even send it to you, I'm going to get it, make sure it is a Braden Point one. But send me a message with all your information so I can get this to you in the next little bit. Obviously, I'm going to try and get it before the holiday season, before everything gets crazy. But you are the winner of the signed Tampa Bay Lightning puck by, I believe, Mr. Braden Point. Certification on the back there, my friend. Send me your information. Appreciate you. Drop a like in the comment or let me know in the comment section if you are still there. And just let us know how to get that to you, buddy. Are you okay? Oh, no. And I'm fired up. I was fired up. Always fired up. The mini red rant. No. I give the full rants. Whoa, that's a Reds rant. Yeah, that was me, by the way. Major red rant. There we go. Someone was messaging me about streaming simulations for the Bucks this year. Interesting. Maybe it was me. I can't remember. I do a lot of stupid stuff sometimes. How long was Shang-Chi? It was about 2 hours. Maybe just under, actually. Now I'm thinking about it. Maybe it was just under because the credits went through for a bit. So yeah. Just let me know. I gotta double check, actually. I should probably let you know. I'll double check that later on for you. But I'm pretty sure about an hour and a half, 2 hours. It says mini rant there, buddy. Nobody can hate Canada. They're the Buffalo Bills of countries. I love that. And
I saw that. I was like, that's pretty good.
We love the Buffalo Bills here too. I've always said that any team that hasn't won a Super Bowl now, except for the Falcons and the Panthers, I'm kind of rooting for to eventually get theirs, especially all the close to Canada ones. So like the Vikings would get one. That'd be cool. I know Alex is, he turns his head real quickly and is like, excuse me, I'm fucking Vikings.
Actually, that's the one team where I'd be like, yeah, okay. Like,
though
I think they're due.
I have basically told Alex, I have essentially given my life to protect him if his Lions do go on some Super Bowl run. Like, Andrew, take me to the airport. I'm going to Detroit. And be like, the Super Bowl is not in Detroit, dude. It's in, I'd say Los Angeles. He'd be like, we're going to Detroit first. We have our people.
Wouldn't that be funny? By that point, go back to LA where we traded Stafford and go win.
Oh, man, that would be funny. Carrie Koo also says hello. That's a rant. Damn right, Christopher Cole. I do get into it when it comes to my my hockey, especially when Gary Bettman tries to fuck us. Johnny said he's FSU. Okay, fair enough. I'm a Noel fan, and even I am going with no leche Dame. Right on. Awesome. Right on, Christopher Cole. Glad you got to see that at least. And Beard on Fleek. Aw. Well, thank you. So we're only doing an hour-long show today because we have some things that we have to do today. But we did want to make sure that we get some fantasy talk in here quickly. So the give me one, please, for today. I did not.
I like this one.
Yeah, I didn't get their pictures up, sadly, and that's all me because I'm a bad one, or I'm a bad co-host, and I do nothing for this platform. No, I'm just kidding. I have basically put out the question in Dynasty today. If you could only have one quarterback in a Dynasty league, not super flex, just a normal one quarterback league, and you can have them on your bench and you can grab somebody else, but you can't have both of these guys. But these were to be your pioneers going forward. Would you rather have Trey Lance or Justin Fields? Trey Lance, the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. And then you have Justin Fields, the quarterback of the Chicago Bears. Both have great upsides. Justin Fields might actually get a brand new offensive coordinator after this year and a new head coach. Trey Lance, we already know who he's going to have for the next couple of years. But we also know that he has a very limited supply of wide receivers. Everything else on that offense is pretty respectable. So the question down to you, the fans, is it Trey Lance or Justin Fields? What would you go with first, Alex?
I'm not saying this because one of them's in my division, but to me, this isn't a tough choice. I'm going Trey Lance.
Ooh, very nice. Nice.
The one thing I will say is if you could tell me that Allen Robinson is coming back and you're going to keep Darnell Mooney, it becomes much closer. And I might actually lean Fields there. But to me, the uncertainty behind Allen Robinson, the San Francisco offensive line, you've got George Kittle, you've got Trey Sermon and Raheem Mostert, you got two really good running backs, you've got that defense, that young defense.
That very young defense.
To me, Trey Lance.
See, and I respectively go on the other side. So in Dynasty, that's the reason why I traded for him in our Dynasty. I traded with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I traded with you to grab him. And one of the reasons for it is in our league, what we're doing next year, which has been voted on, and everybody has a year to prepare for it in our Dynasty league, is we are moving to a super flex. So we are now taking our kicker position and turning that into a super flex, which if somebody wanted to put a kicker there, sure, but it's not the way you should be doing it. So we've basically taken kickers out after this year, moving it to super flex. So I thought about grabbing my quarterback right off the bat. I am basically, if I could bet what I say is going to happen for the Chicago Bears this year on any type of betting platform, I would. And I would say they're going to use Nagy and Dalton until they're bye, and it's not going to be the greatest, but they'll keep it within close games. And Justin Fields is going to come in and maybe not average, obviously, what I said, like 32.5 points just himself. But I do think he is going to average enough where it puts the Bears in a lot more contention and they do get more wins, where they say, all right, Nagy, you're out, just like we did with the Chargers. And they do kind of this rebuild around him, because Justin Herbert now went from last year being like, would you want Justin Herbert or Matt Stafford before he even started in dynasties? That was a question. And a lot of people would go the Stafford way because he's proven. Now we see
what you go Herbert and you wouldn't think twice.
Exactly.
That's coming from a Lions guy.
Exactly. And now in this case, for me at least, I think if Justin Fields comes in, he might possibly be able to show that he could convince Allen Robinson to stay. Darnell Mooney still has a little bit of time there before they would have to re-sign him, but I think he's an underestimated value to the Bears, because if Allen Robinson is going to leave, they at least have Mooney there as a number one target. That could be. It's kind of like having Calvin Ridley with the Atlanta Falcons there when you had Julio. So couple of comments, actually. Someone said, Lance, can't ever trust a Bears quarterback by Timmy Two Turned.
I don't think they've ever had as good of a prospect, though, as they have with Fields.
What was it, Gale Sayers?
Was a running back.
He threw it a couple of times.
Well, yeah, but
yes, no, I agree. Justin Fields, 100% A-Rod is a true number one. True, but Alex's point there was we don't know where Allen Robinson is going after this year because he is only under the franchise tag. So he does make a very good point on that. Whereas I think Justin Fields might be able to convince him to stay if he does start playing good. Running the ball really doesn't help a quarterback in fantasy.
Here's where I want to go at this.
Yeah.
So there's a few things where the running game actually does help the quarterback in fantasy football. One, running game opens up the passing game because they have to load the box more to stop it. Two, if you've got good running backs, both those guys they can catch and run yards after the catch. That helps the quarterback. To me, I think the way the Niners use their running backs really does help Trey Lance in fantasy.
The other side of it too is if you get the right quarterback, let's say the right rushing quarterback in Dynasty or any fantasy football league that you're in, Lamar acts almost like another half running back. And that's something that I'm trying to do, say some sort of analytics to show a bit more support in the value of those, because we're just starting to see the value in this now throughout dynasties and other leagues where people are thinking, okay, if I do get Kyler Murray maybe a round or two higher than I want to, based off of the value of some of the running backs that are left on the board, I can still end up getting some, but then I'm only missing, say, one of those running backs, right? So if you start falling past the Myles Gaskins and the James Robinsons and the James Connors, and you start getting to that, the Kareem Hunts or the Nyheim Hines, these backup roles who are still going to see some time. At that point, if those are the only running backs left on the board and Kyler Murray is still there for a draft, in my opinion, you would take Kyler, because that half running back statistic for fantasy does add obviously more value to it, even if it's another 6 points, right? That could be 6 points that this running back that you had put into a different position only gets you, or he only gets you 10. And then you base off of the different value, right? That's technically 2 more points that the quarterback would be giving you for a running back position based off of their points. So I do like what Alex was saying there. And to the comment, yes and no. Because Rodgers' rush value doesn't have that much. That's only adding another maybe 2 or 3 to your point value at the end of it. If you're in some of these leagues where carries are half points, which I did 1 year and I was like, okay, sorry.
Insane.
Yeah, we're not doing this no more. That's just insane. Ezekiel Elliott is the number 1 running back. But we have had leagues and been in leagues where we've seen stuff like that kind of happen. And I don't necessarily see it happening unless you're in a league like that. That holds no value. But the PPR stuff, quarterbacks don't have that value. They don't have points per, they don't get double the points per reception, which I've also seen some leagues do that. If you're just doing like a standard or a PPR, they will hold value if they are the rushers that can continuously do it, like 5 to 8 carries, and they're getting you the 35 to 55 yards. That's where you can kind of see that value, because that touchdown right there. That's why Josh Allen is a very, very good value when it comes to fantasy football, because his rushing yards don't necessarily go too crazy, but he adds the touchdown. So
yes.
What were you going to say?
Misador's next comment here. I like that a lot, actually. I've never thought of that.
8-man league this year where each week you are given a random division and you can only make your team with the players from that division. Oh, that's kind of cool.
I like that a lot.
That is cool. I have seen some other leagues out there where they have some kind of fancy rulings about certain things. And I like those as well. The one that Johnny keeps bringing up, the trading one, it's just, if you're going to do that one, you have to wait until literally game 1 is about to start the day before, because you don't want anybody to have any injured players, right? That's just, that becomes a shitty one. Same with, there's ones where I've seen, like, you can't trade certain players that are ranked certain ways. Like if they're like an Alvin Kamara, you can't trade for them. I'm like, it doesn't make sense though.
That's the thing I hate with a lot of the NFL fantasy app.
Yeah.
A lot of these leagues don't turn off the setting of undroppable players.
Yeah.
I hate that more than anything.
I made sure that was gone out of our league. And if for some odd reason it's not gone from our league, that I didn't save that change, it would be updated in a second. So, some of the other tips and tricks this year to help you win your leagues. If you're dedicated to winning, if you are like die hard, I want to win this year. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to bust ass and I'm going to kick some people's ass. I'm just going to be the guy that does it. All right. One thing to do is if you're a morning guy or girl and you wake up and you get ready for work with your morning coffee or whatever, and you're scrolling on your phone, just go on the NFL news or go on Twitter, take 3 to 5 minutes and just scroll the news. Okay.
Yeah.
If you do that first thing in the morning and you find out, and I'm only throwing hypotheticals out here. Okay. Just because I'll even use an example of one that I did today. So let's say, for example, Derrick Henry went down. And everybody in their minds right now, if they're not a fantasy football person, is like, oh, who the heck is even the backup for the Tennessee Titans, like to Derrick Henry? Then people who are actually fans would be like, oh, that's Demetrius Evans or whatever his first name is there, right?
Yeah.
But then the actual people say, like Dynasty guys like me and Alex and some of the other guys that we play with know it's actually probably going to be a guy named Mekhi Sargent. And a lot of people are like, who the fuck is Mekhi Sargent? It's a player that, you're not watching the Tennessee Titans. And if we had actually Alex Dato on, he may actually come in here with another name too, because he is a diehard fan. So he knows another player that might actually come in. Right.
Yeah.
But the problem that a lot of people don't have is they're like, well, how did this person get this value? And how this was, you just got to look for it.
Yeah.
When you're playing fantasy football, you got to like all the other teams. Like value in being a co-host with Alex here, who is a Lions fan. Does anyone think I would give 2 shits about the Lions if I didn't like Alex? Do you think any of us would really? Yeah. And none of us would necessarily, and we mean it out of respect, but none of us would be so, say, indulged in the Lions now if we weren't all, friends and enjoyed the shows that Alex puts on. Now, if I'm looking at, say, when, the injury thing with Jamal or with DeAndre Swift happened, Jamal Williams, I'm going and instantly looking for it. Is he available?
Yeah.
Fuck no, he ain't available in any league. Because Alex has done his due diligence and other guys have done their due diligence, right? But then there's also another running back out there who I still do. I can't remember his name, but he is someone that people have also looked after. So, and in the COVID league that I'm in, which I find funny, it's a high stakes league, and I put myself at really bad stakes every time in order to see what I can do in the off season with trades. It's one thing. It's like writing a journal for Dynasty. Except I want to try and win it and then sell everything and then rebuild it my way for the next upcoming season. That's the way I play that league. And so far, I went from having basically 0 running backs to now I have the most running backs, and I've had to trade a lot. But now even people have come around and been like, okay, start of the season is about to happen and I need running backs. Oh, crap, Andrew has running backs. And now I have to trade with the devil in order to get one damn running back. It's like, haha, welcome to me and my life of fantasy football. I take advantage of you because I'm a real GM. So, and the other side of it too is, I think me and Alex both know this because we are fans of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he is a fan of the Detroit Lions. We do know some of those players that are available, but we're not going to fill our bench with nothing but Tampa Bay players and Detroit players.
No,
name me some wide receivers that would actually be good value to have on the Detroit Lions right now.
Amon-Ra St. Brown would probably be the best bet.
Okay.
And then Terrell Williams and Khalif Raymond would be the other 2.
Khalif Raymond, okay.
Yeah. He's their main return guy, and he was a borderline to make the roster just because of that. Mm-hmm. And then in preseason showed his speed, actually better route running than expected, and good hands, so
he makes the roster.
He's probably going to be their number 2 with St. Brown in the slot.
Nice.
And Jared Goff loves his slot receivers. Cooper Kupp was always big in fantasy with Goff. So
Jared Goff loves his slots. I'm gonna make my team name that. Jared Goff loves his slots. And then he said, "Oh yeah, you have the first overall pick. Who are you taking?" I'm leaning towards Dalvin Cook, and that's my pick of the year. I said Dalvin Cook. I know a lot of people go at me for the whole CMC thing. I love CMC. Not hating on CMC or the abilities.
Start the whole season.
But that's the thing is the first couple of weeks might be hard on him just to get back into the swing of things because it's also a different quarterback there. And it's a brand new system that he's not fully used to. So, but yeah, I go Dalvin Cook. What about you?
See, for me, it's a continual toss-up between him and Alvin Kamara just because I do like the fact that he's probably their number one receiver in New Orleans. So
Marcus Callaway is going to be a fun value, though, possibly.
Yeah, and if you're not looking PPR, I agree with John. You look at Derrick Henry.
Yeah. If you're
not doing PPR,
yeah, if it's no points per reception whatsoever, I would agree. And then right after that would be Dalvin Cook again, only because Dalvin Cook will rush it for again 30 attempts per game, just like Derrick Henry will as well.
He fought with Henry for the rushing crown last year.
That's right. Levi Brigley tuning in. What's up, brother? That's one of the other guys. This is another gentleman that's in our Dynasty League as well.
Yep.
Slots. That's right, Johnny. Slots. And then, right, we're talking about that right now, Misadors. What about Henry? We like Henry. Actually, in the one draft that we were doing, I ended up not being able to draft any of the running backs that I wanted to, but Derrick Henry was still there. So everybody knows that Alex Dato is a big Derrick Henry fan. So what I did is I just used that and traded later on to get some of the pieces that I actually wanted. Now, Chubb possibly an option on in PPR. Chubb is another one that keeps crawling up, and Alex is a lot higher on Chubb than I am personally.
He's in my top 5,
and I have him at 11. I think it was. And we are going to be updating that again soon, right before week 1. Now that we have the full preseason completely done. The reason why I don't have him as high is because of Kareem Hunt. Because Kareem Hunt might get 10 to 15 carries per game, and they might just try to utilize both of them because they both do similar things, but they also do very different things. Yeah. So I have a weird feeling that it's not going to be a big fall off either that he was last year, but I just top 10 value, sure, because and I know he is a top 5 value, or at least people think of him as a top 5 value, because every time I try to trade for him, people are like, "You need to give me more, Fulbear," and I'm like, "I'm not giving you more." Not happening. Goff loves slots. Your dad, right? Goff loves slots. I think that's my name now for the year. Goff loves slots. And then is that an Orioles jersey in the back, Andrew? My buddy Larry Bigby played for them. Oh, cool.
That's where I said no way, because actually I remember playing the older baseball games. The Orioles and Larry Bigby. Yep.
That's hilarious. Actually, yes. So that is an Orioles jersey, and this gentleman right here is actually the one that sent it to me. Johnny Dean had that in his, I think, closet for a long time. And I think randomly asked me one day, he's like, "You want an Orioles jersey?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'll take an Orioles jersey." Like, I don't have a baseball jersey, so why not? So yeah, I've taken that. I've worn that out. That's my nice shirt. And Johnny did apologize. He's like, "When I send it to you, it might smell like cigarettes. I do apologize." So it has gone through the wash a couple of times just to get the smoke out, right? But also at the same time, because me and my fiance have quit, when it first came in here, the first initial smell was just like, "Oh, the 2 years of not having a smoke, and that's all I fucking needed. Thank you." And then after that, it was like, "Oh, okay, no, I got to put it through the wash." So we appreciate Johnny for sending that. Same with he won a prize earlier on the first giveaway, and he's like, no, pay it forward. And we are going to be giving that away later on this year as well. So we thank Johnny for everything that he does, because he likes and he shares and he pounds that share button all the time.
Yes, he's awesome about that.
Yes. And he also runs the NFL edition show on Thursdays at 7 o'clock. 7:30? 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday. That's NFL edition on Bucks Report with Johnny the Professor Dean and Alex the Man Loosemore. 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time for your Americans. That's the NFL edition. I'm sorry. That's a little bit of an inside joke. There it is.
Oh,
I got it. Sorry. Some of the other things for you this year is, if you're up early, you're going over the waiver wire and everything like that. If you're just doing rolling waiver wire, know the week that you get to pick first.
Yeah.
And when it comes to that week, go through all the players that are available, go through your whole damn team. It's like doing a spring cleaning right before the big games. If you are still in for the big games, do a big spring cleaning. Do this big I call it a flex, and here's why. Go through that waiver wire, and if there's players on there that you still think are going to be value to you at the end of the year, an injury where you think someone might come back towards the end of the year, a starter who is looking banged up and you probably know that he is eventually going to go down, go grab that player and stash him instantly, because it's going to help you in the playoffs. The teams that I have right now, like my starting team for, say, the dynasty that we're in right now, is more than likely not going to be the starting roster that wins me the championship this year. And yes, I am flexing on that because I don't care. I drafted and traded everything to get this team, and I will do it.
All the rest of the league needs is, like, I hate being this person, but Dalvin Cook or Jonathan Taylor to go down, and then it'll be hard. Okay.
Yeah. Couple other things for you guys to know. If you do FOB or FAB, whatever people call it. So we just went and put our Dynasty League into FAB, and we just actually had our first waiver claim of FABs that went through. And a lot of people, Alex actually did a very good job of actually like knowing what to do with FAB. You don't have to spend $10 on a player. You can spend $1 here and $2 here, and you are fine. So he got some great value through the waiver wire with the FOB. The one thing you guys need to know about the FOB, if you're playing with FOB in your league, it has trade value, especially in Dynasty. The COVID league that I'm in, someone tried to do a trade for a couple of backup running backs and a pick for a tight end, but they wanted some FOB off me. And I don't play that game. My FOB is basically my money. It's like having cap space. You don't want to necessarily give it away for just nothing. You do want to have it towards the end of the season for if you are going for a championship run, drop all your FAB and grab all those players that you can and just go for it.
Yeah.
One advice to anybody out there who is playing with FOB, or if you're not and you have number one rolling claim, what is going to help you win your championship or any playoff matches in fantasy that you want, what is going to help you win those? Stream your defenses and know the matchups of your defenses and who they are playing. Alex knows this from the year that I won our work league. So 2 years ago, I went and obviously dropped, because a lot of people didn't realize that you can do that, except for Alex. And he, no offense, I think he finished 5th or 4th.
The work league, I finished 4th.
Okay. And he finished 4th that year. And he was the only one that kind of knew what was going on. Is when I dropped like half of my team and picked up half the team, a lot of people were making fun of me. And Alex was like, you guys obviously don't know anything about fantasy football. So I took the Broncos defense and the Colts defense, because the matchups that they had for that championship week were just absolutely phenomenal. And I wish I could remember who they were playing. But I went with the Broncos defense. I still won the work championship by, I think it was like 13 to 15 points. But the Colts defense on my bench, that Buddy guy, put up 27 points on that final championship game. So when people have talked about Stephon Diggs 2 years ago winning championships, that defense also helped a bunch of people win championships. And we talk about Alvin Kamara winning last year. There was another player that also helped a couple of people win championships as well. But that Colts defense and that Broncos defense, those matchups that I did 2 years ago is what won me that championship. The guy I was playing was absolutely stacked. And I was very nervous going into that matchup. And I did not necessarily want to trade out my defenses. But I did, and it helped me win the championship. So don't be afraid to drop the players that you'd like in a redraft. If it's Dynasty, be careful. Don't just start dropping 22, 23-year-old backup running backs because you want to start streaming defenses. No. Yeah. You need to be smart about it. But also money speaks. So what do you got any tips for the fans there, Alex?
I mean, it kind of ties into what you were saying with the pay attention, like when you're looking at the news and stuff. This is one thing I always like to do, and I've said it multiple times when we're drafting, is if you've got one of those guys, say you went and got McCaffrey or whatever, you should make an effort to get Chuba Hubbard this year as he's the backup. These guys, especially the ones that are injury prone, make sure you have their backups on deck to take over, especially in high-powered offenses.
Especially in high-powered offenses. So if you and a lot of people have messaged me and be like, what round would I draft a Rojo or a Fournette? And I'm like, if I wouldn't even start considering it unless you absolutely need the help at running back. And if you are going to consider it, make sure you can get both Leonard Fournette and RJ right at the end or right at the beginning. Like if you pick first and you're down at like the 11th, 12th round, sure.
CM Singletary and Moss.
That's another good one. What was there's another one. Chase Edmonds and James Conner for Arizona would be a decent one. Josh Jacobs and Kenyon Drake for the Raiders right now. It's going to be really cool to see Peyton Barber in a jersey there, though. I'm not going to lie. Shout out to the old Bucks player signing with the Raiders. But yes, that is what we like to call in the fantasy football world a handcuff. It's making sure you got that handcuff. I know that I've tried to get handcuffs in my leagues and like say for the North Sports one.
I've been working hard all morning trying to get them in my one league.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. See? I'm just waiting for people to answer back.
And now we got, like, for example, in the North Sports League, I'm not going to be able to get all of the backups that I want because people know that the only way that you would be able to, say, topple me this year based off of points percentage is if one of my major guys does go down.
Yeah.
Say, like, Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen both go down at the same time, I'm fucked. Yeah. Absolutely fucked. Like, no questions fucked. Like, everyone will pick up every damn quarterback off the waiver wire just so I have to pay 50 FOB to get one. And I would be so pissed. Like, so pissed. The other side of it, too, a decision I had to make in the other league, for example, is I had Kyler Murray, but I needed running backs. And I threw out Kyler Murray for certain values, and some people didn't want to take it, and some people did. And finally, I found a biter, and I got Kyler, and I got some running backs, and I got another player, and I had to send Kyler and something else. I can't remember. But now I was left with, Derek Carr on the bench, and I think at one point I had Jacob Eason, and at one point I had Taysom Hill. But then I threw in Mr. Tom Brady, who I acquired in a trade for Julio Jones and Tom Brady before for an old running back, and I actually flipped Julio Jones and got some picks back, which ended up being Rashad Bateman and something else, and I've now just traded Rashad Bateman to get James Conner and Kadarius Toney and David Johnson. What I had to give up some other stuff too. But
I was like, you gave up Bateman, and you only had to give up Bateman for that?
No, it was.
I was like, holy.
It was Bateman, the backup running back in New Orleans, which the gentleman was after because he knew he needed to get that handcuff for Alvin Kamara just in case something were to happen. Because if Jameis Winston is your quarterback, Tom Jones.
Okay.
Yeah, he went and grabbed him. He grabbed him off me, Rashad Bateman. There's another rookie that I wasn't too sold on selling, and I think it was a 2024 first-round pick. And again, wasn't sold on wanting to sell. I do not like selling draft picks. Alex knows this. I like to acquire as many fourth-round draft picks as I possibly can.
Tony Jones.
Yes, it is Tony Jones. If I could just draft the whole fourth round myself, I would, but I can't.
So, not in our league, you can.
Not that I tried though. I fucking tried.
I still remember that trade for, I think it was the Fields trade, or maybe one of the other trades we did. Mm-hmm. No, it was the one involving Marvin Jones.
Oh, yeah.
And you sent me the offer, and I was like, how about instead of giving me a second, you give me a third and a fourth, and I'll give you a third.
Yeah. I'm like, you bastard. You just don't want me to have fourths again. Whatever.
Exactly.
Because there is extreme value too.
Yes.
We will have a dynasty like tips and tricks show towards the end of the season, because we are going to have another dynasty league put up for any of the fans who do want to be in those leagues. Because we have had a few people reach out to us and say, keep hearing about these dynasty leagues, and we keep hearing you talk about them, and we get to see all your, some of these other guys from your dynasty league pop up on the shows and stuff like that. I want to do that too. And it's like, oh, we got you. Like, it's coming. We're making sure that we are ready for this season. And then right after the season's done, we're going to do the whole, recruitment process. And then we're going to watch the draft and get everything ready for our mock drafts. And then right after the draft, probably 2 weeks after the draft, we'll have our big old dynasty extravaganza. Maybe a month to give us some time to put some content out and stuff like that too. So
yeah.
Some of the last comments I saw here was Johnny. He must have heard me on the miscreants last night. I popped in and out of the miscreants a couple of times because we were in the theaters.
I did too.
Yeah, and me and Kim were playing some games, and we were, smoking some legal substances up here right before our movie, which made the movie so much better. Which I gotta say, guys, go see Shang-Chi. It's not just like a put away Marvel movie. Like, it is going to come in and play big, especially when you see that one end credit. Like, you're like, oh, the hell is this? So I would say go and see Shang-Chi. It's a great movie. Other than that, we don't really have any other tips and tricks for you.
I have a question for you that was brought up to me at work. It's not a fantasy thing. It's like a sports betting.
Okay.
And it kind of got me thinking. So obviously, if you're going to bet on, like, if you had to pick one team to bet the entire season, you're more than likely, most people are going to bet the Bucs, Chiefs, one of these top teams.
Yep.
But who's one of those teams that you could bet on every week? Like, one team for the entire season that week after week would actually get you some decent odds, and it's going to make you some decent money.
Okay, let me go check that quick. So based off of the schedule, I'm just going to take a quick little mental look at it and look at some of these teams that I think will. Yeah, okay. So let's go to then. I'm going to go to the sports here. Wish I had Harry on here too, because my terminology is not as great, but I am trying to do better. We only have.
The person that brought this up to me said they were thinking the Titans.
Titans.
Like, maybe.
There's Titans a few right now. Sorry, go ahead.
There's a few I brought up. So I brought up the Browns. I brought up the Chargers, Washington. I think those were the three I brought up because it's teams that aren't the bona fide number one in their division. There are some matchups where they're going to be the good odds to bet on.
Yeah.
Where I feel like they could still pull them out. Cleveland with Kansas City is one that I do think Cleveland's going to win that one. So
Tennessee is actually a good one. They're only favored by minus 155 right now against the Cardinals. And they may eventually start to become the favorite. So Cardinals are actually one that I was going to throw into there because right now they are like plus 135. So if they do beat the Titans week 1, you are going to get some money on that. Yeah. Another one that a lot of people probably aren't thinking of, and a lot of people are going to laugh at me, but if you go and look at their first 5 to 6 games, they could come out of there with a positive record, is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville has last year, actually, right? Last year, week 1, a couple of people actually put some big bets down on the Jacksonville Jaguars to beat the Colts, or even just to be within the spread, and they won. They actually won a lot of money, and then obviously faltered after that. But
yeah,
Jacksonville in the first 5 weeks plays like the Bengals, and I believe Minnesota's in there. Houston is week 1. Arizona's in there as well, and there's another team. Those teams all still are trying to figure out who they are. And as long as Jacksonville plays that hidden game where they're like, you don't know who we are and this, that, and everything else, blah, 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 they could do some damage in the first couple of weeks where all of a sudden they start to become this favorite. And then after that, when they start playing some of the bigger games, you just start going for the spread after that.
yeah.
I like your Cleveland pick. I'm just looking at some of the lines for week 1 because I can't get some of the lines for week 2 or anything just yet.
It's a little hard to get them right now.
But I would go with, based off of that, we'll go with the Jacksonville Jaguars for maybe the first 5 to 6 weeks. I would go with the Cardinals all season as being one of them. Washington is another good one, but Washington's odds right now against the Chargers are even, but after that, they'll probably start to become a little bit more favorited.
That one I was leaning more towards, like, they play the Chargers, they play the Chiefs, they play the Bucks. Like, you play some really good teams where that defense could keep them in, and you might be able to get some good odds on that.
Fuck, man, even the Dolphins, I'm not going to lie. Like, Dolphins and Patriots, the Patriots right now are getting minus 150 for week 1 with Mac Jones in there. I don't
know about that.
Exactly. I'm tested to go with Miami on that one for at least week 1.
I did a 3-team parlay. I should bring that up quick. I know it involved both the Cardinals and the Dolphins.
Oh, I see. There you go.
Taking those two, and then I think I took the Bengals against the Vikings.
Oh, okay. That would be an interesting one.
Yeah.
I hope Miami beats Alabama. Christopher Cole, I think everybody is hoping.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I think everyone's hoping.
Because that would just be so good for me with the whole Derek King for MVP or for Heisman if he just goes off on them tonight. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been our show. We do have to only make it an hour today because me and Alex have some things to do.
Yes.
But we are going to be back for another quick episode. On Tuesday, just to give you some fantasy updates about what's going on around the league and some Buccaneer and Lions players for you guys to learn about and try and get on your teams or try to avoid. And then Alex will also be live with Mr. Johnny Dean on Thursday. It might be right after the game. They'll have all those details coming out pretty soon. And myself
later in the fourth quarter sometime.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I will be live with you guys tomorrow night, live from the cheap seats, where we are going to be looking at the beginning of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers season, all the future games, what I think is going to be the outcome for this game, for week 1, for their whole season, everything else like that. So tune in where we'll talk about that. This has always been a great show. Always thank all the fans for tuning in. We appreciate every single one of you guys. We're going to also get a better video here pretty soon so that we don't get any copyright infringements because that was just the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
So until then, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you. Take care now and bye-bye then.